Plattsburgh held its annual commemoration of student shootings at Kent State and Jackson State Universities, which both have anniversaries in May. Our Plattsburgh Bureau Chief Alec Lasham was there for it and spoke with a Vermonter who attended Kent State as a student in 1970.
A small gathering held at SUNY Plattsburgh on Friday to remember the students that were killed at Kent State and Jackson State in 1970. For students, it was a chance to learn, and for one former Kent State student, a chance to reflect.
But now I see.
Since 1971, SUNY Plattsburgh has held a ceremony every May to remember the 6 students slain by National Guardsmen at Kent State and Jackson State in 1970. School officials say students made the decision a year after the killings in 1971 and are the only campus outside of those affected that hold an annual commemoration for both events. On Friday, a brief speech was given, followed by a rendition of Amazing Grace, in part performed by SUNY graduate student Grace Ewing.
It's important to not ignore what happened, but to commemorate, and I'm grateful that I go to a school that does choose to commemorate those days and remember those lives that were lost.
And in the crowd was Tom Dietz, who has been attending the commemoration for almost 30 years. Dietz was born and raised in Kent and was an undergrad at the State College in 1970.
I think the real lesson is we always have to continue to learn.
Dietz was an environmental activist protesting the Vietnam War and even spoke at an event 3 days prior to the massacre on May 4th.
We had our teach-in planned for May 6th. April 22nd was the first Earth Day, but there were events long after that. And of course, because the shootings occurred on May 4th, we never had the teach-in on May 6th.
He says at the time he remembers the immediate reaction from Americans and top government officials.
People with a lot of politicians sort of fanning the flames somehow thought that the students had brought it on themselves, but couldn't be further from the truth.
Now, more than 54 years later, he says the message of nonviolent protesting is as timely as ever.
There is a need to keep moving forward, to be courageous, and to try to affect change, because the changes that we were trying to bring about affect people all over the world.
Reporting in Plattsburgh, Alec Lasham, Channel 3 News.